This was single-handedly the #1 thing that helped us the most to start digging our way out of $113,000 debt that we still do today, having paid off about $50,000 of that debt. And it's honestly not what I thought it would be. And this one thing is sinking funds. And when I talk about sinking funds, I find that people often have two responses. One, they're either like, what the heck is a sinking fund? I've literally never heard of that. That was me. Or two, oh my God, sinking funds have changed my life. So I literally forget about this because it's a part of our payday routine. We've set it up in a way that it's automated so that we no longer have to think about it. But when we get back to the basics of how we started our debt payoff journey, sinking funds was such an underrated game changer. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through what a sinking fund is, how we use them, how we've set them up, and then how we actually manage the paying for things out of the different sinking funds and just what we personally do. By no way, shape or form is this financial advice. I'm literally just a girl who is on a debt payoff journey with her partner after a failed business. I do a lot of budgeting content here on YouTube. I'm a new creator here, so if you enjoy this kind of content, you find value, please go and subscribe to my channel. It would mean the absolute world to me. But I share a lot of budgeting stuff and how we're managing our finances throughout our debt payoff journey. We have the goal to wipe the rest of this debt. We've got $65,000 to go this year, which we're on track to do, before we rebuild responsibly and work towards our goal of buying a farm and building a home. If you've never heard of sinking funds before, the easiest way I can put it is like current you looking out for future you. Now, there's actually several ways you can set these up and manage them, and I think it really comes down to your personal goals and also like the way that your brain works, what's going to be the most sustainable for you. For me in particular, it was creating multiple accounts. So I know some people just have like 3 different accounts. This is a very basic money management thing that's often taught in the personal finance world. Having a sinking fund, a savings account, and a spendings account. I liked the idea of that, but it just wasn't going to work for my brain. So I went through and created 8 different sinking funds, which is just 8 different accounts inside of our bank. And each sinking fund had a name. So if you want to utilize sinking funds, what you do is you look at the common routine expenses that come up all the time. Things like registration, insurances, car expenses, tires, servicing, utilities, power, water, gas, rates if you own your house, vet bills if you have pets, and depending on how far you want to take it, you could make an account, a gifts account, if Christmas always catches you off guard, where you're putting a little bit of money away every single week into that fund. So by the time Christmas rolls around, you've got a couple of grand or however much money you want to have in there, sitting in there. I'm just going to bring up my app to actually see what we don't have as many sinking funds as we used to, because I've got the hang of things now and we just sticking with what works. We have our checkings account where all of our pays land into, and then from here, this is where everything gets automatically sent to its sinking fund. So we've got a bill sinking fund. This sinking fund covers things like our power, our rent, our internet, our phone bills, pet insurance, car insurance, and I think that's it. And then we have a car sinking fund. So this covers things like registrations for both of our vehicles and annual servicing, and then also tires when we need them. Then we've got a holiday sinking fund. So we put a little bit of money aside, and I'll walk you through how to like break the number and make sure you've actually got enough in there. Holiday sinking fund, I think we set the budget of either $7,000 or $8,000 a year for us to go on a holiday. We live in South Australia, in Adelaide, and all of our family lives home in Victoria, so we are traveling quite a lot. This is the money that we take from this fund whenever we're going on like a travel expense. Then we have our emergency account, our savings account, and Luke and I both have separate accounts for fun money. These get treated like a sinking fund. Money goes into them every single week. Now, the way that you figure out how much money needs to go into the sinking funds is doing up a budget. If you don't have a budget in 2026, 1, I don't know how you're surviving in this economy. 2, I can guarantee you have got holes in your bucket where money is just dribbling away that you don't even know is leaving your account. whether it's unconscious spending, it's subscriptions that you no longer use, or you're just spending way too much on takeout or shopping that would absolutely shock you if you sat down and look at what's actually going out. With the sinking funds, you want to write down all of the bills that usually catch you off guard, or all of the annual routine expenses that you have, and then divide it into the weekly amount. So for example, registrations, we're going to say like $800 a year. You divide that by 52 and that is your weekly number. So what I did was I went through all of our bills that we had and I worked out the weekly number. Things like water and gas and power, we just got like our average. We looked at the last 3 bills that we had, worked out the average, divided that into a weekly payment. Once I had the weekly payments for all of our bills, we added that together and got our bill sinking fund number. We did the same thing for our car sinking fund. Our holiday sinking fund, we just reverse engineered. It was either 7 or 8 grand. It comes to $154 a week. And then Luke and I also get $100 of fun money per week that we spend from. We don't track. We don't have to have discussions about what we're buying. That's just fun money for us to buy things that we might want. Automating your payments into these sinking funds every single week so that it is out of your mind. You do not have to carry the mental load of remembering to do this every payday. It is set up so that every single time you get paid, whether it's weekly, fortnightly, monthly, whatever your situation is, on that pay cycle, you will know the exact amounts that get sent to each of these accounts so that it is complete set and forget. And when these bills come around, you are not left scrambling for money, and the money that you need is already in those accounts. What this did for us was it allowed us to stop spending money that we didn't actually have, overspending in our budget, and it gave us so much damn clarity because I'm looking at my phone right now. I'm not going to show you because I'm actually in my bank account. I can see we've got $2,039.46 in our bill sinking fund. Luke's got $34.75 in his fun money account. I've got $1.05 in my fun money account. Our car sinking fund has $210. We've just paid for services and registrations recently, so that's like back at zero. But I know in 12 months time, when all of these expenses are due again, the account's going to be topped up. We've got $4,107 in our emergency fund, and we have $0 in our savings because we are not in our savings era. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, we are very much in our debt payoff season. How we go in terms of spending from these accounts and how that works, like, do I have cards for every single account? No, I don't. I do have a lot of cards, but we don't really use them. So we've got a card for our checkings account. We've got a card for our bills account, but we don't use that. That's put away in a drawer because we set the bills up to be direct debited from the bill account. So we automated that part of our bills and our finances and our debt. So that just gets taken from those accounts. Luke's got a card for his fun money account that he spends freely from. I've got one from mine. Car sinking fund, we don't have a card for this one. Whenever we have a car expense, we just transfer the money across to our everyday spendings and spend from there. Same as the emergency account. If you wanted to, you could have a card for everything. If that's what's going to work for your brain, again, this is like personal finance. It really is personal. I know having heaps of cards would do my head in and be very stressful. So I don't do that, but you could do that. You could also have no cards and just have these accounts and transfer the money across to your spendings account every time you need to spend something. That would work as well. That's Sinking Funds 101, guys. I hope this was helpful. Please let me know in the comments if you found this helpful, if you already implement sinking funds, or if you're going to implement sinking funds. Again, this was such a game changer. I feel like it's such a small hack that you literally go through and set up once and then it's set and forget. It just creates so much clarity and peace of mind knowing everything's accounted for. That present you has looked after future you and nothing is going to catch you off guard. Now again, you could take this one step further, like if your kids are in schools and you've got a lot of school expenses, you could create an account for that where you work out the money that needs to go in there each year and you set up that weekly payment, and then by the time school fees or books or uniforms or whatever it is comes around, the money's there. Same things for gifts. I know know a lot of people that do gifts accounts for birthdays and weddings and baby showers, whatever the things are. You really get to personalize this in a way that's going to work for you and your lifestyle. So I hope that helps. If it did help and you would love to follow our journey, please go and give my little account a subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.